Fadi Khater from Netizency. Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm very good.
So, can you tell us a little bit about Netizency?
Sure. Netizency is a a relatively new startup. We're less than 2 years old. We focus on building social brands. And we do anything necessary to help make brands more social and get them to interact with the people. We're a social brand consultancy. We work with clients in Qatar, Dubai, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia. And we pretty much do anything necessary to make them social. We have five main offerings. One is a social brand strategy on basically guidelines on what they need to do to become social. Second part is social brand management, which is managing Facebook pages, Twitter account, YouTube channels, LinkedIn, company profiles, etc. And the third is more about analytics, where we figure out all the numbers, we tell people what works, what doesn't, who the most effective followers are, what sentiment there is around them. And this helps a lot because it allows us to do a lot of market research through social media.
Yeah. So, can you tell us how can startups make an effective social media campaign?
I think the most important thing is the relevance, and usually what most people lack on social media is being relevant to the industry and what they're trying to promote. Everyone believes that being on Facebook is about saying good morning and have a nice weekend, and they forget about having to focus on a specific niche. Like, let's say I'm a startup on food. It needs to be more about getting the right recipes, figuring out what recipes people are interested in. You can do a lot of research to figure out of everyone on Facebook in Lebanon, how many are interested in Lebanese cuisine, and you talk to those people about Lebanese cuisine. You can figure out how many like Chinese food, and you can talk to those about Chinese food. I think the most important part is being one, relevant to your audience, and two, relevant to your industry.
So, how can any startup leverage the power of Instagram and Pinterest?
Instagram and Pinterest are mostly about photos, and unless you have really good photographers and take really good pictures, I think it's wrong to be on Instagram and Pinterest. You have a lot of people who confuse Instagram and Pinterest with Twitter and Facebook and email, and it's just about sending any picture of anything happening. Whereas those are usually more about art. Like Instagram is more about artists and really beautiful images. So let's say again, I'm going back to the food industry. If you're into food, you need to take artistic pictures of recipes or plates or whatever you want to share. And Pinterest is a bit different because you tend to create boards where you pin so many different things. So you collect the things you like off the internet and you link them all in one place. And your page becomes your curation of the things you like the most.
Yeah. So, social media is all about connecting with people and showing the emotional side of your brand. So, we've heard a lot about bringing the feminine side of your brand in order to connect better with
The feminine side.
yeah.
It's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. So, what do you think about that, and how can startups do it? We know that females are more emotional
True.
than males.
I think it's all about taking off the suit and the corporate attitude that you talk to customers with. You need to talk a different language than you do in a press release or in a TV interview. It's more about talking like you'd talk to a friend or someone you'd meet at a conference. You should take out all the formalities and try to get as human as possible. And this, I believe, is more the feminine side that you're talking about, or I like to call it the more casual side, the more human element of how you talk to people.
So, social media as a customer service tool. How
Yeah.
can startups leverage the power of social media as a customer service tool?
Well, it's all about how quickly you answer customers. So, social media is a way for people to get in touch with you. And if you show them that you answer their problems and you answer their questions and you solve their problems very quickly on social media, then that becomes your primary tool. A lot of brands have people who come to them on Twitter and Facebook more than they call their call center because they know that because this is public and this brand's on the spot, they respond to them instantly. And this is more the point. It's just how quickly and how available you are to answer those people.
And what is a good time, a good response time?
Usually the benchmark is 1 hour during working hours and up to 3 hours outside working hours. So between, for example, 9 and 6, you should respond maximum within an hour. But if someone posts something at 8 or 9 p.m., then you have a bit more time to do that. There's also the sleeping hours aspect. So if someone posts a post at 4 in the morning, you're obviously not going to be able to answer it until 9 a.m. or until someone actually wakes up. But the average is 1 hour during working hours.
So let's talk about things that would kill your brand on social media.
That would kill your brand?
Yeah.
Uh,
Or would harm your brand.
I think the only thing that would kill your brand is your failure to react properly. And it's all about that. A lot of people have negative comments, a lot of people have complaints. People tend to be more aggressive on social media than they are in real life, only because they feel that everyone's watching them and they want to make a strong point. Because if you as a brand directly answer them, if you thank people, apologize and ask them questions, it definitely dilutes this anger and it makes it much easier to resolve anything. What would kill your brand is if you reply to a complaint by being aggressive and shouting at the customer and telling them that they're wrong. This is something that you should definitely not do because they'll have a lot of support and everyone would stand up against you as a brand.
So is there any strategy, common strategy to deal with negative comments and negative feedback about your product?
I think it's about one, speed to answer, two, being able to apologize as a human as opposed to telling the customer no that they're wrong. And three is about working with the customer to find a solution. The nice thing about social media is that you can ask the customers what they think or how they would react in this situation. We've had so many different situations with clients like banks or telecom operators that customers complain about something and we'd ask them how to fix it and we'd work together on a solution. And collaboration is one of the best powers or benefits of social media.
So is there any free tools that startups should be using in order to manage their social media activities?
I think Hootsuite is one of the most popular ones. It's something that allows you to put all your social networks in one place, see them in different streams. You can have search streams, so you can say anyone who has, for example, brand fail would appear here. Anyone who has mentions your name appears there. You'd sort them in a very nice and easy way, and you'd answer to all of those streams in one easy-to-use platform, and it's free, up to a certain amount of accounts.
So thank you for your time, Fadi.
Sure, thank
Pleasure
you.
to have you here.
You too. Thanks a lot.